What is happening, Magnus? So, The Last of Us, Season 2, Episode 1. Let's talk about this. So, this episode starts out, was it 5 years later? I think it said. I think that's what it said. And Ellie's older, doing her thing, going on patrol. She's training. She's fighting dudes and bringing them down, making them tap out. What's her new love interest name? Dina? Or something like that. Anyway, so they show Abby, and I think it was a huge mistake not to have her on steroids, performance enhancing drugs, PEDs. It was a defining feature of the character. And Pete was going around, people were saying that, that the creators were saying, they didn't make her all big and burly like the video game because it wasn't needed for the character. Yeah, it is. Abby had a defining look. Just like the golf club is important. It shouldn't be a bat. It shouldn't be a gun. It should be a golf club. That's what you used in the game, right? All right. Defining things about The Last of Us Part 2. Okay? So, the chick from their new video game is in this. Part of Abby's crew. You know, the one shaving her head. Keep forgetting the name of that. So Joel and Ellie are having problems. She's not speaking to him. I'm assuming because she knows. She knows what he did. She knows that he's lied to her. And he refuses to be honest with her. Joel is in counseling with a therapist who he pays with weed. And apparently he's killed her husband before, which is strange. That they're cool, but excuse me. So my mind was kind of coming and going with this episode because, no lie, while I found the first season for the most part to be pretty interesting, I was starting to get bored with this, and it picked up a little bit at one point. Her and Dina or whatever, the new girlfriend, go into a abandoned joint, and of course they run into a clicker, but she falls through the floor and she runs into another one, but this one seems smart. And I remember when I was watching, I was like, this one's smarter and it's behaving like a human in a way. And that's exactly what happened. Fooled her, jumped on her, bit her, ran, you know what I'm saying? It had ran and it hit itself when she told it to come at her. Because they normally just come at you like mindless monsters. This one was like, no, I'm going to go around the corner and get you, you know? So she's telling their council what happened and how it seems smarter and everything. And what you have to remember is that I didn't play The Last of Us Part 2 because of how horrible I heard this story was. I read several details, and I've seen enough footage, a lot of footage, to know. But I don't know every single detail about the game. So I'm coming into it like someone that's a normie, a super normie that's never even heard of the game, just watching this. So I'm blind with this at this point, you know what I mean? So she got bit. She sewed it up or whatever. Goes to the dance. There's some shenanigans there when she's kissing her girlfriend. And Joel helps out. And she's like, I don't need your help. So she's still not cool with him. And there was a pipe that they had taken that they were doing, work on earlier in the episode that had, cordyceps in it. At first, you couldn't tell, just like it was stuck with a bunch of, roots and everything. But I was like, You know, so at the end they show the cordyceps coming through. I'm going to give this episode a 2.5 out of 5. It was just, you know, I would never watch the episode again. It didn't do nothing for me, you know, but it's the beginning. Sometimes the first episode in a season, the first 1 or 2 episodes in seasons of shows sometimes can be boring. So, the first season was pretty damn good. Well, let's see what this season, if The Last of Us Part 2 is any indicator of how good this will be, then I'm not going to like it, or I'm not going to like it as much as The Last of Us Part 1. Love The Last of Us Part 1. It's one of the few games I think that I clapped at the end. It may have been the first game I clapped at the end when I beat it. We're going to have to see what they do, because I know certain details about The Last of Us Part 2. I want to know what they do in here to see if it's somehow maybe curving things or changing things because of how they pissed fans off with the game. Man, the game only sold like half of what the first, less than half or something like that of the first one. That lets you know. They made a huge mistake, but it was such a big, you know, it was very popular. So of course they sold a lot of copies, but they did nowhere near the numbers that they wanted to, because the story was absolute trash. And then they had you play with the killer of Joel. So, you know, that's horrible. I wonder if he's even going to die in this. I'm wondering what they're going to do. We already don't have a roided up Abby. So what's next? Not killing Joel, not using a golf club. Is it going to be a knife? Like, what are they going to do? So in the comments, for the people that know, help me out and let me know what they've changed. You get what I'm saying in the episodes? Because in the first season, we knew, because we had all played the game several times, and we know. Post the comments down below. Let me know what you all think. If you enjoyed my my review, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. 10 million subscribers. Woo!